Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Diaries of a 20-something. I am so sorry for the break in episodes this week, but I do have a very special guest joining me today. So everybody meet my sister Regan. Okay, guys, so welcome Regan back to the podcast.
Hi, everybody.
Cheers.
I missed you guys so much. I'm so excited. This is really far behind because we were supposed to do this on Saturday.
Yes.
It's Tuesday.
We decided to do it right before she left instead of right when she got here because we'd have way more to talk about. So Regan is now 20.
Yes,
so give them the recap, like since you've been on last.
Oh my God.
So the last time Regan was on the podcast, it was June, and now it is March. So we have a lot to recap on. So tell us a little bit about what has happened since. Boyfriends, friends, school.
Okay,
Give us like the full recap.
so no boyfriend.
No boyfriend.
Had no boyfriend then. Have no boyfriend now. Had a potential. Boring.
We'll get to that later. We'll get to dating later.
I started my junior year of college. I've actually was just so out of it for me, but I've actually made so many friends since then.
Yeah.
Like if you think
Regan
about it,
has been a social butterfly recently, which is so unlike her.
No, like a literal socialite.
Yeah.
Like, I am such a socialite.
You're like me.
No, I'm like out.
All of a sudden you're like me.
Yeah. Like I'm really out. Like I'm making plans. I see my friends all the time.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna drop that tea. But anyway.
You should drop the tea.
I just had friends that didn't like me. Basically.
Which is something that me and Regan have both gone through.
This is my first time though.
This is like I've had it happen to me a couple times.
I never had that problem.
Friends that like you but also hate you so much.
No, it's not even, they just didn't like me. Like I'm just like, so I've made new friends.
Yes.
I think good friendships. And if not, I've strengthened a lot of like my old like self.
Yeah.
And then boys, no.
We'll get into dating later.
Okay, and then school, just my junior year, which is stressful.
Regan is now 20 years old.
Yes, I'm 20.
So she finally fits the vibe of the podcast.
She keeps telling me I'm in my 20s, which I'm not.
Yes,
I'm just 20. I'm not in my 20s.
You're in your 20s.
No, I'm not. Why am I like Karen Smithing to think? The weather. The weather.
This is the first time on the podcast where you've discussed me living in Hoboken.
Okay.
What do you think?
I love it here. Today we did a solo day in the city. Or not solo, but solo for me. Right. Because that was my first time in New York City without my mom.
First of all, it's so less stressful being in the city with just us versus when my mom is a part of it.
It was like,
peaceful.
It didn't even put a damper in my day. Like, no, seriously.
Regan used to hate going to New York.
Well, it just felt like running another like side quest. Like it didn't feel like it was a damper. Like I feel like before the days we'd go to this, but also we would spend hours and hours and hours.
Right.
But, like it literally just felt like
it's so nice living here because you could just go for like an hour or two and it's not like a damper on your day.
We went there to get her a bagel.
Yeah. Yeah. We went to Modern Bread and Bagel today, which I've seen on TikTok dozens of times, and how the whole thing is gluten-free. And if you guys didn't know, I'm celiac, so I can't eat gluten, but to find a restaurant that is completely gluten-free, there's like a different kind of security with being able to order because for one, like being gluten-free, I hate asking things to be like modified to gluten-free and stuff like that, but to just be able to order at a restaurant like a normal person, it really is like something that isn't talked about enough, I feel.
No, that's the same.
But I got a cinnamon raisin bagel and it was phenomenal. And the second I get a toaster, I'm heading right back over there and I'm going to get a couple dozen of a couple different types of bagels.
Sometimes bagels are good like raw.
Yeah. No, that was the kind of bagel that was good raw.
Yeah, some like New York bagels, Jersey bagels are good raw.
Jersey bagels are good raw.
Yeah, I like them not toasted, I think. Same with Brooklyn water bagels.
We also tried this empanada place. Regan found it as we were walking past it.
I think I would have liked the spinach and cheese one. I just thought the beef one was lacking flavor. Like it tasted like a samosa. That's what a samosa tastes like.
I don't know what a samosa is.
Those they literally look like the empanadas. They're like the triangle things from Indian restaurants.
Okay.
But the spinach and cheese one's probably, if they had tomatoes in there, oh my god, it'd be so good.
New York City, just us, is very different from New York City.
Yeah.
With my mom.
Yeah. That was fun. Going into the city, like, and I love Hoboken.
Yeah.
I like it. It's quiet, it's quaint, but it's fun. It's like the perfect in between. But which I feel like the same place, the West Village, was the same way. So I don't know. I haven't seen it on a weekend.
Yeah,
I've
the
seen
West
this on
Village
the
on a
weekend.
weekend is
I've seen this on a weekend.
it's a lot of fun.
Like the Deer Mod line on Halloween was Halloween, so
Right, the West Village is fantastic.
But
all
she
nights
was
of the
saying
week.
Hoboken doesn't really have strips.
No, we don't
so
really
it's
have
like-
strips of
Right.
bars.
So on a Saturday night, like how crazy could it really get? Because not everybody's so concentrated to one area.
Well, because Hoboken is so small, we have little groups of bars. Obviously, Washington is like always packed because there's so many bars scattered. But right by the path, there's a bunch of bars, so that place is already really packed. Like by Pig and Parrot and Green Rock and like the Waiting Room and 80 River, like that. Like it's always like very packed there on like a Friday, Saturday night.
Okay.
But like we don't really have like strips because it's just like a city. Like it's just everything's just scattered, and it's
I know. Yeah.
only a square mile. It's only as strippy as it can get.
Well, either way, I've liked it here. How many restaurants have I tried? I've tried Dearmont,
East LA now.
East LA, Ainsworth. Oh, Del Frisco's.
You tried Leo's. What I love about Hoboken is how there is an Italian restaurant nearly on every block, and
a bagel and a coffee.
yeah.
Which is perfect for me. I want to look. No, I want a Mexican. I want a taco, but
See, like
A
we
bagel and
lack
coffee.
in the Mexican and Cuban area.
no
The
Florida.
Cuban restaurants and the Mexican restaurants here are not what they're going to be in Florida.
it's like getting
100%.
Mexican food in Canada. We're from South Florida.
Yes.
We obviously have the best Cuban food.
Yeah.
It's just
The
inevitable.
Cuban food here does not compare.
Okay, what do you want right now? Do you want a pollo plancha or a palomino?
Pollo la plancha.
Yeah.
Yeah. With some rice and beans.
Mm.
With the onions on top.
But you can't have the
Yum.
bread. That's a pollo plancha. Yeah. I don't really like the churrasco, the thick steak. I like the palomino.
Yeah. I'm a chicken girl normally.
You never really got the palomino.
Yeah. I've always been like chicken. With
I always
Mexican, I'm normally a chicken person.
Mexican?
Yeah. With Mexican
But you
and
didn't get a steak
Cuban.
on Chipotle.
Yeah, like recently.
Okay,
Recently I have been getting steak on my Chipotle, but normally
steak
I'm
is-
like chicken with rice and beans.
Yeah.
I need that.
Yeah, no, that's not really me. I'm beef or steak. I'm very rarely chicken. Except in fajita form, because I don't like chewy steak.
There are things that I do miss about South Florida.
Like what?
Winter. But Regan recently has been dating.
No, I dated one guy.
Well, that's not true. You dated that other guy too. Went on a couple dates with him.
Yeah, but he
The
was
Cuban
weird.
guy.
Yeah, but he was weird.
Okay, well, like some of them are weird. Like you like
And we got food. We went to Calaveras. We got a large fajita, which is like twice the size of what we got today. So it's like a big portion, like a huge portion.
yeah.
I ate more. I had like 10 tacos. He had like 3. And I took the leftovers home. So like, no. That was immediate no, because he made me feel like a fatty. So he had taken me back home and I was like, yeah, whatever, you can come inside. And so he comes inside, but like I didn't want to get with him. So it was just kind of like ease the way. So I was showing him my Minecraft houses as one does, obviously. And I don't know, I like made some like joke or something and then he like said it back and then it was like a really like it was just I don't even know if it was a joke. It was just something that came out of my mouth. And then he said, "Oh, that was really funny. Like I'm gonna say that from now on." Immediate. And then he threw a fit, remember? And he was like,
Yeah.
if you don't text me back, I'm moving on. So I didn't text him back because obviously move on, please. And then so the guy went on like 5-6 dates on. We had 2 sleepovers. Sorry, Dad. He touched my tit. That's it. And you know, it was to the point where like we had 2 sleepovers and he touched my tit. Like, and it wasn't even like I didn't really,
It happens.
but I didn't really want him to do anything. You know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
wasn't like and then he would breathe on me and then I told you when we woke up in the morning he goes, "Hi." No. But that was my dating history. It was
Yeah.
brief.
Well, as you guys know, I've dated a lot. And recently I've been seeing a new man.
And it seems to be going well.
Yeah, we've now been on 4 dates. Or our 4th date we did here.
But that's still a date.
Yeah, like
Because it was
like
planned.
I felt like at a certain point, like we should just do like a simple,
Yeah, I
nothing
feel like the
crazy,
difference is-
no getting dressed up, just like hanging out.
I feel like the difference is if
One-on-one.
it's planned or not. Like if you're like come over, that's
It was
not a
definitely
date.
planned.
But if it's like
yeah.
come over, we'll eat and do this, that's a date.
Yeah, no,
Does that
it
make
was
sense?
planned.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I was talking to Reagan about this earlier because I've always been with guys that treat me like garbage to the point where I got used to that. Like that was normal. That was
So
what
turn
I
into your
was.
bar is on the floor.
Yeah, my bar was on the floor. So, you know, like the way that he treats me, you know, he does the sidewalk thing. He opens all the doors. He like plans all the dates, makes all the reservations. I found this guy on Hinge.
So-
but you know how hard it is to find somebody on Hinge that is like that just like not only likes you back, but puts in such an initiative.
Like no, that's what I'm saying.
you
no.
you just haven't dated
No.
enough.
But I have no interest in doing that.
Well, that's okay. It's my thing. I love dating, as we know.
I'm not interested in going on dates with men that don't remember the first thing I said.
But we just had our 4th date and my first fourth date ever in my life. So,
That's your first fourth date?
yes,
I didn't know that. You never said that.
it
That's the
is.
first time you said that.
It was my first fourth date ever.
That's good.
I'm serious.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's good unless it ends in turmoil.
Since I was last on the podcast, my life has exponentially changed. My priorities have exponentially changed. That I genuinely think someone I like could spend a whole week with me and walk away and I'd just move forward. Like, I'm like so detached. We have different standards.
We have very different standards.
Yeah, the bare minimum.
But my standards are changing because he's showing me what I deserve.
What's your love language?
My love language is, I feel like it's a mix of two. Definitely physical touch and words of affirmation.
Yeah, mine would be acts of service. And I am such a person. My social skills are really lacking.
Yeah.
So when I meet someone, it's like it's not a real love language. But I would say one way to know if I truly love you is if I'm silent. And if you wake up to breakfast, that means I am like in love with you.
Yeah, so we're very different.
Yeah.
When it comes to men and dating and everything in between. So recently, guys, I officially became an influencer. I now have partnerships with real brands.
Like Amazon.
And I'm doing,
which is huge.
a 4-month partnership with Amazon, and I'm really excited.
That's huge.
And also a new dating app that's coming out, and I'm super excited. So, Reagan, how does it feel to have an influencer sister?
It feels cool to the degree of, you see like sisters like Alex Earl and Astronaut. Like if you hit a certain point, let's say you hit 25,000 followers, immediately my Instagram, my TikTok, everything private. I don't want anything to do with that.
My goal is to hit 50K by the end of the year.
This is something you've always wanted.
Yeah.
Like always,
because I've always loved sharing my life on the internet.
No, but either way, you've loved sharing your life with anybody. Paige is the type to like meet a stranger and like just share. You just like sharing your life. There's nothing wrong with that. And like the influencing thing is so cool and it's so like generational that like
it's such a new field.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like the kind of field where nobody can really tell you like what is right and wrong and like where the right direction is to go because it's growing as we're growing. You know, like influencing just kind of became a career like 3 years ago maybe.
But there's so many different ways you could do it.
I was actually just talking to Hannah about this. She was like I could so see you like in the same realm as like Hannah Harold and like Acquired Style and like Hallie and whatever. And like I don't really like necessarily categorize myself as those same types of people.
You're like a pre-socialite. Would a socialite be like your end goal? Like would you want to be a socialite?
I wouldn't want to be a socialite. My goal is not to become anything specific, but I think my goal is to always have an online community. Ideally, I turn it into a clothing brand. So we're picking up from the next morning. I'm still sick. Reagan likes my friends.
Oh, I love them.
Which is so crazy. Reagan normally doesn't like my friends.
They usually like take a while to warm up to me, but like I really like them. Like the ones here.
Yeah.
Like, they made great first impressions.
They're just great people.
They are great. Like you can tell.
Yeah.
Like they're very welcoming.
I've always had an issue with having good friends. I feel like I finally cracked the code or something.
You did. I mean, you just finally got what you deserve.
Yeah, that is what 2025 is. It's the year for getting what we deserve.
Mm-hmm.
The year for not putting up with crap.
I want to meet more of them better. My flight's in 2 hours, guys.
No time to meet any more of my friends.
No. But hopefully, like, I can next time.
Yeah. We'll do a thing with the group chat. She met my closest friends, and that's what matters.
Those two you'd say were your closest? Okay.
Yeah.
And they're close with each other?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're all, in the group.
That's good. How many people are in your group chat?
I think 6 or 7.
Oh, it's a lot.
I might be number 7. And then I have my work friends group chat. I think you met all of them, just very briefly. Mm-hmm. You've met Christine. You met Natalie.
Oh my god, I met Christine so briefly though. I met Natalie, I think in November.
Yeah.
The day we met Gianna. Or whatever.
Yeah. You met Gianna too. I think on that same day. Guys, we've had so many technical difficulties with this episode and I'm really over it. But anyway, my sister just left. The camera just died. It just got charged again. I, for one, am going to take a very big self-care couple days because I feel like whenever the weather makes a big fluctuation, I get like messed up with my sinuses. I have like a pretty wicked sinus infection right now. Me and Reagan had such a fun little trip. She met all my friends, like I said, and we went to the city yesterday just to explore Regan now understands the hype of the West Village. I met my best friend Angela last night. It was a lot of fun. It was a good weekend. We watched NCA. We just did pretty much everything that we wanted to do almost. And I think that that is something to be really grateful for, because a lot of times life gets so busy and we don't often have time to do everything that we want to do. But we did pretty well, I think. On that note, that concludes episode 36 of Diaries of a 20-something. Next episode is going to be about, doing social media and having a platform and like everything like that, because recently my social media has been gaining a lot of traction and I've been getting brand deals, and it's all really exciting and very new to me. And I just think that a lot of people would benefit from that kind of conversation, because the idea of being an influencer versus actually being one, especially when you have a real job, is a little overwhelming. So that is what next week's episode is going to be about, so stay tuned. I'm sure you guys can hear it in my voice how horrible I feel right now. Brain fog is like insane. So thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all, and I will see you guys all next Friday. Mwah.